Okay, today we're going to be taking a look at another watch strap from Gearbest. This is a $5 genuine leather watch strap. And yeah, I think if you're looking for a $5 leather watch strap, you kind of get what you pay for. And a lot of times on Gearbest, you kind of hope that you're going to get more than you pay for. I think this is one of those cases where you get exactly what you pay for. So I'm actually going to kind of be testing this to see if I can figure out if this is actually a leather strap or not. I kind of don't think it is, but whether or not it is, it's still, you know, worth $5, I guess. Let's take a look. So I bought this strap to pair specifically with the Guanqing GJ16028 that I just reviewed. So that kind of white dial with the Roman numerals and the small seconds hand. And I picked it up on Gearbest at the same time as I bought the watch because the watch comes with a brown crocodile leather strap, and I wanted just a plain black leather strap to go with it. And I saw this on there for $5 and figured I'd give it a try. Had good luck with Gearbest so far. It said it was a genuine leather strap for $5 shipped, and I think I had some Gearbest points that knocked the price down a little bit. So I took a shot on it, but immediately when I opened up the package and started feeling it, I got the suspicion that this was probably not genuine leather, even though it's clearly stamped on there genuine leather. I could be wrong, but it doesn't feel like leather, it doesn't smell like leather, it doesn't move like leather. So before I jump into the part of this review where I try and, you know, figure out whether it is leather or not, a quick review of the strap itself. It's not, other than the materials, it doesn't appear to be a bad strap. It has quick release spring bars, which is great. The hardware seems pretty firm. The stitching looks good, and from a distance, it's a pretty good looking strap. It looks fine. I don't think anyone would really suspect anything if it was on the watch. And you know, it's not terribly uncomfortable. So I guess those are all good points about it. Yeah, but you know, again, I don't know if it's actually leather or not. And so that's, you know, the biggest, you know, point about it. So I started looking up online to see if there's ways to tell, and there's a couple of different tests that people suggested when trying to determine if something is genuine leather or synthetic leather. The first is that there's a water drop test for wet leather too, and supposedly leather is supposed to soak up water. So I went ahead and grabbed 3 watch straps to try and, you know, test this theory out. I got my Orient Bambino black leather strap, which I'm going to use as a control subject here. I'm pretty sure that one is genuine leather. I don't have any reason to suspect it's not. And then I got a strap from a William Greger watch, which is, you know, it's kind of a crocodile leather. And that one, you know, I'm not 100% sure. I trust that I think the brand's a kind of a more established brand, and I don't think they would, you know, sell something as genuine leather that's not. But it doesn't really feel that genuine to me, so that's why I picked that one to kind of test that one as well. And then I have this Kopeck strap here that I picked up on Gearbest. So I went ahead and put the water drops on the watches and waited about, you know, up to about a half an hour, and absolutely nothing happened. So apparently the side of the watch that's finished has some pretty good water resistance on all of them, at least. Even the Bambino didn't soak up any water, and I guess that makes sense. For a watch strap, you don't want it to be too porous, so they must polish it or finish it in some way to give it a little bit of water resistance. So I figured I'd try the back of the straps and see if that gives any difference, and that actually did. So the Bambino soaked up the water really quickly on the back of the strap, but the other two, neither one of them did. And so even the William Greger that I think probably is leather, that one, you know, either way, you know, I waited up to about a half hour on both sides, and it, you know, wasn't really soaking up any noticeable amount of water. So I don't know what to think about that. Yeah, so I went on and moved on to the next test, and the next test that the internet suggested was a bending test. So basically, you know, try and bend the leather and look at it and see the way that it moves. And you know, a genuine leather should kind of wrinkle, and it should, you know, even discolor a little bit, because it's a natural material that, you know, that should flex, it should bend. And whereas synthetic will be much stiffer and, you know, not prone to really wrinkling up when you fold it. It's more of like a, you know, more of like a folding and stiffer, and it kind of retains its shape. So I did that, and that I definitely did notice a pretty big difference. So the Bambino was very clear to tell that, I could see the wrinkling on the face of it, and then also on the William Gregor one that's got this crocodile gray finish. Even underneath that, I could tell that the material was moving a lot more naturally. Whereas when I started bending this Kopeck strap, yeah, it moved and bent like plastic. So I don't think it fared very well with that. The other test that the internet suggested is looking closely at the surface of the leather. And leather is supposed to be, again, being a natural material. It's not uniform, so it's got imperfections. It's got a grain that's kind of random and not just completely uniform. Whereas a fake leather strap will have a pattern stamped or embossed onto it. And there, looking at the Kopeck strap, I could really see that. It seems like a very uniform leather pattern that the surface of it has, whereas the Bambino is more natural. The William Gregor is hard because that one has been embossed, so there's been an artificial pattern imprinted onto it. But even under that, it still seemed like I could see more of a grain and more of a natural look to the leather than the Kopeck one. So after all those tests, I'm fairly confident that this would be, maybe if I was being generous, you could call it a synthetic leather strap. It was $5, and so I think this is kind of one of those things where you get what you pay for. And so I'm definitely gonna be more careful when I'm buying straps on Gearbest now, especially if it's something that's really cheap like that and it's advertising to be genuine leather. I always kind of assumed that if they were going to be willing to actually stamp the materials on the product itself, that they're probably not going to lie about it, that a company wouldn't be that dishonest that they'd be selling. But now I'm questioning that. I've seen a lot of descriptions on Gearbest that have been inaccurate, where the description of the product, on the product page is wrong. And that's I can understand. But if the product itself has, basically a lie stamped or printed on it, so if the product itself says genuine leather on the product, I would expect it should be genuine leather, even if the product page says something different. But now I'm not 100% sure. So just another thing to kind of be cautious of when you're going through some of these websites. I still am really, I really like Gearbest. It's a really fun site, and you can get some amazing deals. But I'm definitely going to be more careful browsing around on it and trying to figure out, what I get from here on out. But I thought this would be kind of a fun thing for you guys to check out and just something to keep aware of when you're shopping around. So that'll be the end of this one.